Alright, hello everybody, welcome to another video today. My name is Chris, and today we're going to be going over all of the Rite Aid store closings as of Monday, September 2nd, 2024. So, we have the Rite Aid store in Algane, Michigan, the Rite Aid store in Almont, Michigan, the Rite Aid store in Ann Arbor, Michigan, the Rite Aid store, two Rite Aid stores in Auburn Hills, Michigan, the Rite Aid store in Beaverton, Michigan, the Rite Aid store in Berkeley, Michigan, the Rite Aid store in Bloomfield Hills, Michigan, the Rite Aid store in Bridgeport, Michigan, the Rite Aid store in Butchacan, Michigan, the Rite Aid store in Caledonia, Michigan, the Rite Aid store in Caro, Michigan, the Rite Aid store in Carson City, Michigan, the Rite Aid store in Cassiopolis, Michigan, the Rite Aid store in Cedar Springs, Michigan, the Rite Aid store in Charlotte, Michigan, the Rite Aid store in Silo, Michigan, the Rite Aid store in Dearborn, Michigan, a total of 4 Rite Aid stores in Detroit, Michigan, the Rite Aid store in Durand, Michigan, the Rite Aid store in East Jordan, Michigan, the Rite Aid store in East Lansing, Michigan, the Rite Aid store in Eaton Rapids, Michigan, the Rite Aid store in Farmington Hills, Michigan, total of 2. The Rite Aid store in Ferndale, Michigan, the Rite Aid store in Flat Rock, Michigan, the 3 Rite Aid stores in Flint, Michigan, the Rite Aid store in Frank-Muth, Michigan, the Rite Aid store in Goldwood, Michigan, 2 Rite Aid stores in Grand Blanc, Michigan, 2 Rite Aid stores in Grand Rapids, Michigan, the Rite Aid store in Grant, Michigan, the Rite Aid store in Hartford, Michigan, the Rite Aid store in Holland, Michigan, the Rite Aid store in Holly, Michigan, the Rite Aid store in Huntington Woods, Michigan, the Rite Aid store in Alama City, Michigan, the Rite Aid store in Ithaca, Michigan, the Rite Aid store, 2 of them in Jackson, Michigan, the Rite Aid store in Kalamazoo, Michigan, the Rite Aid store in Casakalea, Michigan, the Rite Aid store in Keego Harbor, Michigan, the Rite Aid store in Lewiston, Michigan, the Rite Aid store in Lenovia, Michigan, the Rite Aid store in Macomb, Michigan, the Rite Aid store in Marshall, Michigan, the Rite Aid store in Massoon, Michigan, the Rite Aid store in Medicine, Michigan, the Rite Aid store in Mount Morris, Michigan, total of 2. The Rite Aid store in Oak Park, Michigan, the Rite Aid store in Ortonville, Michigan, the Rite Aid store in Osadodia, Michigan, the Rite Aid store in Otisville, Michigan, the Rite Aid store in Oxford, Michigan, the Rite Aid store in Perry, Michigan, the Rite Aid store in Pinckney, Michigan, the Rite Aid store in Plymouth, Michigan, the Rite Aid store in Pontiac, Michigan, the Rite Aid store in Portage, Michigan, the Rite Aid store in Reed City, Michigan, the Rite Aid store in Rochester Mills, Michigan, the Rite Aid store in Rockford, Michigan, the Rite Aid store in Rockwood, Michigan, the Rite Aid store in Roger City, Michigan, the Rite Aid store in Roscommon, Michigan, the Rite Aid store in Royal Oak, Michigan, 2 Rite Aid stores in Saginaw, Michigan, the Rite Aid store in Sandusky, Michigan, the Rite Aid store in Sparta, Michigan, the Rite Aid store in St. Helen, Michigan, the Rite Aid store in St. Clair Shores, Michigan, the Rite Aid store in Standish, Michigan, the Rite Aid store in Sterling Heights, Michigan, the Rite Aid store in Schwartz Creek, Michigan, the Rite Aid store in Twas City, Michigan, the Rite Aid store in Vassar, Michigan, 2 Rite Aid stores in Warren, Michigan, 2 Rite Aid stores in Washington, Michigan, the Rite Aid store in Waterford, Michigan, the Rite Aid store in West Bloomfield, Michigan, and the Rite Aid store in Yeshapilante, Michigan. Then in the state of Ohio, we have the Rite Aid store in Adia, Ohio, the Rite Aid store in Archbold, Ohio, the Rite Aid store in Bar Breton, Ohio, the Rite Aid store in Belpure, Ohio, the Rite Aid store in Cadiz, Ohio, the Rite Aid store in Clairton, Ohio, the Rite Aid store in Cleveland, Ohio, the Rite Aid store in Clyde, Ohio, the Rite Aid store in Connett, Ohio, the Rite Aid store in Crestline, Ohio, the Rite Aid store in Chuckahoia Falls, Ohio, the Rite Aid store in Dayton, Ohio, the Rite Aid store in Philophus, Ohio, the Rite Aid store in Enon, Ohio, the Rite Aid store in Findlay, Ohio, the Rite Aid store in Falsattery, Ohio, the Rite Aid store in Fredericktown, Ohio, the Rite Aid store in Gallon, Ohio, the Rite Aid store in Grattsville, Ohio, the Rite Aid store in Giano, Ohio, the Rite Aid store in Greenfield, Ohio, the Rite Aid store in Lexington, Ohio, 2 Rite Aid stores in Lima, Ohio, the Rite Aid store in Libsyn, Ohio, 2 Rite Aid stores in Mansfield, Ohio, the Rite Aid store in Monrovia, Ohio, the Rite Aid store in New Carsley, Ohio, the Rite Aid store in New Lebanon, Ohio, the Rite Aid store in Newton Falls, Ohio, the Rite Aid store in Oak Harbor, Ohio, the Rite Aid store in Oryville, Ohio, the Rite Aid store in Ottawa, Ohio, the Rite Aid store in Paulding, Ohio, the Rite Aid store in Pomeroy, Ohio, the Rite Aid store in Port Clinton, Ohio, the Rite Aid store in Rittman, Ohio, the Rite Aid store in Russell's Point, Ohio, the Rite Aid store in Shelby, Ohio, the Rite Aid store in Strongsville, Ohio, the Rite Aid store in Sylvania, Ohio, a total of 5 Rite Aid stores in Toledo, Ohio, the Rite Aid store in Vermilion, Ohio, the Rite Aid store in Wadsworth, Ohio, the Rite Aid store in Warren, Ohio, the Rite Aid store in Washun, Ohio, the Rite Aid store in Waynesburg, Ohio, the Rite Aid store in Wellsville, Ohio, the Rite Aid store in Willard, Ohio, and finally the Rite Aid store in Woodsfield, Ohio. So these are all of the Rite Aid stores that are closing as of Monday, September 2nd, 2024. Thank you guys for watching.